Hey guys, this is Chodaro of Chodaros Bling, Chodaros Designs, and I have a new bracelet out today. It is called the Abbey Road bracelet. Abby is a very special little girl in a special person's life of mine, so I'd like to dedicate that to her and name it after her. So this only consists of 2 jewelry chains, a whole bunch of jump rings, and some loom bands. So this is the front, and flip it inside out, and there's the back. No invented stitches here, stitches that we have been using as hook only. Only thing that I've done is incorporated these stitches into a design allowing us to add jump rings and chain. Okay, so it kind of curves in until you put it on your wrist. When you put it on your wrist, then it will lay flat. So all I did was add a single band down the center, but you could always add a small bead, charm. You could even add charms to your jump rings or even to the outside of the bracelet. So if you stick around, we'll show you what you need to get started. Okay, so we need to create 2 of these chains and bands and jump rings. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how we're going to make this. It is very simple. It's just a matter of opening up a jump ring and putting it on the side of the chain. So the size jump rings that I used are a 6mm, and you want to have for these particular ones, I'm going to use my bead tools to open them because they are a little bit stronger that I can't open them by hand. So I take one of my tools on the right side and I hold it straight up and down, and then I take my tool on in my left hand and I want to hold it to the side, and then I just want to take it and bend it towards me, just like that. You don't ever want to open up a jump ring. You want to always turn it, because if you open it up, you have a huge possibility of it losing its shape. So you just have to open them just enough to get them through a link of your chain. But I suggest doing all of yours first. To me, it's just easier to open them all first and then add them to the chain. So again, you want to have one tool straight and one tool to the side, and then I'm just simply pulling that left tool towards me to open that up just enough. So I think that'll be good. I can do 4. All right, so we want to grab our chain, and mine happens to be a long one, but I'm just doing this as an example, so I'm not going to cut it. So the biggest challenge with putting these on is just making sure that, again, as I always mention, that your links are straight. If you do not ensure that your links are straight, you will end up having a jump ring on the left and then a jump ring on the right. So just want to make sure that when you're adding them, you're adding them to the correct side. So I'm just going to take my tool, pick up my jump ring, and slide it through that first link on my chain. And then I want to do the same as I did whenever I was opening the jump rings to close them. So I'm just going to take this right side, hold it straight up, and then just simply take that left side and just put it back into its place. So you want to jiggle it just a little bit whenever you do get it back in place, and it does help close it up better. Okay, so now that we have our first one on, as you can see, I'm holding it in my hand in this manner, so that way I know I want to go on this left side of my chain. Once I have it on, I'm okay to let it go. So again, I want to take my tool. One tool is up and down, and this other tool, I'm just going to slide it back into position the way that it was and give it a little jiggle so the ends meet up. Okay, so we have 2 chains done. So again, I'm going to hold it by the chain so I can see that these 2 are going to fall in place the way they should. And to flip it over. Okay, so now that I am holding it and that link is in the right direction, I then take my next one and add it in and close it up. Okay, so that's what you'll do the whole way the length of your chain, just like that. So again, I'm going to flip it. I see they're all on the bottom. I know this link is straight, and then I'm going to grab this last one for the example and put it in that link there. And bend it back to its correct position, and then give it a little bit of a twist so that way it meets up like that. Okay, so like I said, the only thing that you just want to make sure is that they are all on the same side. Okay, so that's how we're going to add our jump rings to our chain. So once we have that complete, then we can start adding our bands. And it's easy to add the bands, and you don't necessarily have to worry about your loops or your chain links getting mixed up. Okay, so you want to take your hook and you want to come down to either side, and I think I'm going to use a smaller hook. This is the Rainbow Loom prototype hook that we're hoping is going to be out in stores soon, but I'm just going to, you somewhat want to make sure that they are all facing the same direction, so I just had to kind of untwist this a little bit. But I'm going to take my glitter gold bands, and this is not a hard step or looping. We've done it before, so I'm just going to take one band through that jump ring, and then I'm going to go into the next jump ring and put that on my hook. And I want to take my next band and I want to pull it through the jump ring through the first loop. Then I want to close it up and then just simply take this back band and pull it over my hook like that. So then you'll end with 2 loops on your hook. Nothing I invented. We've done it a billion times. So then we put on our next jump ring and do the same step. We pull that band through that jump ring and the first loop. We close it up and then we pull that last band over our hook. This is what we're going to do all the way down your bracelet. So as long as you are grabbing those jump rings in order, make sure that you are, because that will allow your chain links in your bracelet to match up. And we don't want them to become kinked. So this is fairly easy putting these bands on here. All right, so then once you do a couple, you'd always want to just go back and look, make sure everything is straight. And just continue until the end. So we need to make 2 of these. And the length is always according to your personal wrist size. All right, so let me check my links. This one is a little bit crooked, so I'm gonna make sure I can straighten it out. If not, then I have to go back and take it out. Nope, I was able to fix it. Okay, so I just have a few more left on this one to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish that up on our own. That's what it should be looking like. One side should have your chain, the other side should have your jump ring and your rubber bands. It is going to slide around on you, but that is totally normal. So we will fix that part up later. But let's go ahead and finish until the end, and we'll meet back to join our 2 bracelets. So again, after you're done making this one, ensure that you make the exact same replicate so we can join them together. All right, so I am at my last jump ring there, so I'm just simply going to slide a band through like I normally would, recapture and pull that back one up and over, and then at this point is when you can add a C-clip or just any kind of clip to hold it in place. Okay. All right, so simple enough. Our last step is just going to be joining the 2 together. So the thing that you do want is we want to have these loops open, this part facing us, because that's the part that we're going to be working inside. So then on the bottom should be your jewelry chain. So you want to make sure that if your chain is twisted at all, make sure that all of those loops are pointing in the same direction, like that. Okay, so this isn't anything difficult. We're just going to take 1 band, and I'm going to try to color match these jump rings with this Sweets Burgundy. So we want to start, as I mentioned, with these loops facing us, and right after that jump ring, or right at the jump ring, we're going to be working on all of the loops on the right side, inside here on this left one, and then on the right one we're going to be working with the ones that are on the left side. So all of the loops that are on the inside, like this. Okay. All right, so we just grab those 2 loops and we're just simply going to pull a band through like that. And then before close up, we're just going to go up into the next set that are on the inside on both sides and close it up there, and then just add our next band. Now we're always going to be going through 4 loops. So before we close up, and we need to ensure that we're only grabbing these inside loops. So your chain might get a little bit twisted, so you just need to ensure that you're grabbing the right ones. So you should always be having bands on the outside there. And then just take your next band and pull it through all 4 loops. So this step is just obviously ensuring that our 2 bracelets are connected. Nothing new. We've done this step a lot of times in different bracelets. Again, just pulling that new band through. Going on the inside loop, next in line. Make sure, because mine is trying to twist on me. This one there, and this one there, like that, and then pulling a band through all 4. And then before we close, always grabbing the next loop in line. So it's a basic step. And then just pulling our band through. Okay. It does look, this one wants to twist one way, and this one wants to twist another way. But you can always check yourself by making sure that you still have those outside bands on both sides to make sure that you're grabbing the ones correctly. So I'll do this last one here. I'm just going to close it up because I am going to allow you to move forward. So this is what this side looks like. It's not done yet because whenever we're finished, we're going to open it up. But that's what it's going to look like as we're looming it. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab all of those 2 center bands going all the way up our bracelet, and then I will meet you back at the end for close up. All right, so I've reached the end here. So I just want to take, I have that center band. So I just want to put my hook through this left clip band and then take it out. And then through the right clip band. Take that out. So then you should have 6 bands on your hook. And then I'm just going to end with 1 band going through all of them. No, I'm not. I'm sorry, that was wrong. I'm going to put my hook through all 6 of these again. I'm sorry. We want to split that. So we want to have a band on for these 3, and then we want to have a band on for those 3. So I'm just going to slide this first band through all of this and then recapture it after I have these 3 on my hook, and then put the remaining 3 back on. Just saving a step from having to flip my hook around. And then I'm going to take another band and do the same. So that way we have a closing like that, and that way it will match down there. So then, well, I'm just going to clip this for now, and I'll show you in a second how we can close it up. So I'm just going to take this large holder clip here, stick it through those 4 bands, take my hook out. Okay, So this is what it should look like. I did have a little bit of a mix up right there, but it should be nice and smooth and it's thick. So when you turn it over to the front side, primarily you're going to have those two jewelry chains running down the center. So if you would want, that would be an option if you wanted to keep it like that. But you could wear it, I guess, maybe. But the design is just to pull it apart. So you have to do a little bit of straightening because we need to get those jump rings to be on the side of this chain. And we want the left side here to be open and all of those jump rings to just be on the right side. So we just have to move them in place a little bit. Like that. And then we want to come over and we'll do the same thing on this right side. So we're just kind of maneuvering those jump rings around so that they're all in on the inside there. And then we just want to take it and we're just going to give it a little bit of a stretch to open up that center. Like that. So here is the back side, and here is the front side. So when we put it on our wrist, it will be opened like that. When you take it off your wrist, it is going to want to kind of curl in like that. But like I said, once you put it on your wrist, it will come back out. So you have a couple different options for closing. Obviously, or the obvious closing that we would typically do would be to use 2 C-clips, and you could just grab this band here and C-clip it right there. Or you could open up 2 jump rings and you could, or I'm sorry, you could take this first jump ring that's on that first link, if I could find the open end, right there, and we can open it. Make sure you hold on to it, and then we can take these 2 bands that are on this the left 2 bands, and add those into the jump ring. And then we just simply close our jump ring up. And you really need to make sure that you have that jump ring closed up and it's touching the other side, because the bands, when they get stretched, they will 100% go through that hole. Okay, so then we just want to turn turn this around, and we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm going to open up my jump ring, and then take these 2 remaining bands on my clip, put them inside that jump ring, and then close it back up like that. So you don't need any C-clips at all. That's how it will close up. So it kind of looks like it's supposed to be like that. So there we have it. The Abbey Road bracelet, named after a special little girl. So another shout out to Abby to give her some chains and some bling so she can make this bracelet. So let's slip it on our wrist. You want to make sure that you have some give down there. This one is going, oh, see, my already came off my jump ring. So I'm going to add another band in there to make sure that it doesn't come off like that. So there we have it when it's on our wrist. Pretty cool. So again, this is the Abbey Road bracelet. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please make sure that you do comment below if you have any suggestions, concerns, or ideas. I'd love to hear them. And please make sure that you do hashtag your rendition on Instagram to the Abbey bracelet under my screen name as Chodaro_Bling. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.